There are some things that are absolutely true. It just takes a while to prove them. And people will push back. But some things definitively, they're obvious, but we're not comfortable just saying something that is definitively proof over time, absolutely factual. The NFL is a big man's game. So Nick Sirianni is the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're in a losing streak, and Jalen Hurts is struggling. And Nick Sirianni on WIP radio in Philadelphia was asked about replacing him, except for the last 3 or 4, which you keep losing. The truth is, the more Jalen Hurts throws, the worse Philadelphia is. Those are the facts. If he throws over 30 times, they're not very good. So I'm going to give you a list of current quarterbacks in the NFL that lead their division or are leading in the MVP race, or their name is Joe Burrow. Here's their heights. You can put up the graphic for our TV audience. 6'6", 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", 6'3", 6'3", 6'3". I'm 6'2". I can't be taller than your franchise quarterback. These are the first place quarterbacks or Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen probably wins MVP, certainly deserves it. In the last 20 years, there have been 2 Super Bowl champion quarterbacks that we've all sort of gone, whoa, that's surprising. Nick Foles, 6'5", and Joe Flacco, 6'6". Have you noticed how quickly the smaller quarterbacks age? Tua, beat up. Kyler Murray, hurt a lot. Brock Purdy, banged up a lot. Jalen Hurts, on a losing streak. Dylan Gabriel, benched. Bryce Young, been banged up. And it's not just the size. As we show you a picture of Jalen Hurts from the camera, look how small he looks. He's smart, he's athletic, he's tough, he's tiny. It's not just the size and the length of the quarterback. It's the length of the season. It's now 17 games. NFL defensive players are bigger, stronger, faster. The hits hurt more. They're more punitive. 17 regular season games, 4 playoff games. I'll give you an example. Justin Herbert this year. Justin Herbert went to dinner last night with the GM of the Chargers. Justin Herbert is, they say, closer to 6'7" than 6'6". He's a large man. He's been hit 106 times. He currently has a broken hand and no run game. And yet his team is 9-4. Meanwhile, Tua, when he's hit just 7 times in a game, they came out of the same draft class. When Tua is just hit 7 times a game, he's 1-6. Jalen Hurts is small. People have tried to convince me height doesn't matter. Go look at our graphic again of first-place quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Allen's going to win MVP, and a guy named Joe Burrow, who there's an argument is the best pure thrower in the sport, and he's 6'4". Yeah, part of the Jalen Hurts thing, I love how we showed you that video. We showed you that video of Jalen Hurts throwing the ball behind the massive Eagles O-line. The problem is all O-lines are massive. Average size, 6'5.5" to 6'6.5". Look for yourself. It's cluttered. It's hard to see. Well, what about Baker Mayfield? Smaller than I'd like, throws a lot of picks. Some of them, in my opinion, overcompensation emotionally, overcompensation physically. Trying to make plays, his body, his arm, and his vision can't. So I was talking to that GM last night about Caleb Williams. Not going to get into details, but we got into this discussion last night. What in the world do you do with a quarterback that is completing 58% of his throws? Will he ever get better? Well, here's what's interesting. If you look at the Bears quarterback Caleb Williams' second-year stats, this year's stats, they're identical to Josh Allen's second-year stats in Buffalo. Identical. Both completing 58% of their throws with about 20 touchdowns, not that many picks, and they're winning a lot. But Josh Allen has moved to 70% this year in completion percentage. One of my beliefs, because he's throwing to the tight ends more, easier throws. Their receiving group in Buffalo stinks. So he's not throwing the ball down the field as much. His completion percentage hasn't risen dramatically just because he's more accurate. No, Josh throws to the tight ends more. Those are shorter, easier throws. The truth is, I don't think completion percentage matters as much. If you're wildly athletic, like Caleb, Bo Nix is really athletic, Josh Allen, or you're on your rookie contract. Well, why would that matter? Because Denver and Chicago, Bo Nix and Caleb, have great rosters. Everybody's talking about Ben Johnson. Everybody's talking about Caleb Williams. What's not being discussed is how stacked the Bears roster is because they're not paying Caleb anything. They have the number 3 offensive line of 32 teams, the Bears do. And 2 of their guys, Drew Dahlman and Joe Tooney, are top 10. They're number 1 in takeaways with 2 Pro Bowlers, Kevin Byard and Jalen Johnson. Montez Sweat, 8.5 sacks, top 12 in the NFL. They're number 2 in rushing, 2 excellent backs, and a multitude of really good receivers and tight ends. Lost in the conversation with Bo Nix and Caleb, the Broncos and the Bears rosters with 2 brilliant offensive coaches are loaded. So generally in life, the more money you make, the more mistakes you can make with money. In the NFL, the less money you make as a quarterback, the less perfect you have to be. Now, Caleb's great on third down. Bo Nix is great in the fourth quarter, but they're wildly uneven. You're allowed to be, when you're on your rookie contract, have an offensive coach and are really, really above average in athleticism. So Caleb Williams on third down is outstanding. And he's obviously coachable, durable, and athletic. I'm good with that now. He's going to win a lot of games, and so is Bo Nix, until perhaps they get the big contract. But everybody looks at Josh Allen and goes, well, he's so accurate now. Do you think it's a coincidence he has his worst receiving core? He's throwing more underneath and more often to tight ends. Josh Allen is still all about power, horsepower, running, leaping over people. We don't think Josh Allen hyper accurate. We think of the dynamic athleticism. So I think Caleb, Bo Nix, athleticism, to some degree on your rookie contract, trumps all the accuracy. I mean, ask yourself what Bo and Caleb have done this year. Look at their records. What are they, 20-6? And neither one's terribly accurate. It tells you how good the coaches and the rosters are, what you get away with when you're not paying the quarterback anything. This is what RG3 about a week ago said about Caleb Williams' completion percentage.
Accuracy is a myth, all right? Accuracy to me is always dependent upon where the defense is and what you're trying to get the receiver to do. So where I think his 61% completion percentage comes from is more so the fact that he is willing to take more chances to have big plays occur, which drives down his completion percentage. Do you want a guy that's going to be a check down Charlie? Do you want a guy that is not going to take those risks deep down the field because he's afraid to make mistakes? I don't think that's who Caleb Williams is.